Breaking news tonight at 5:30. Jaclyn?
Yeah, Sean, Jill, I'm here at the intersection of West 12th Street and Cherry Street. That's right across from American Tinning and Galvanizing Company. We're also right next door to the Prep Villa Event Center, where, as you can see behind me, crews are cleaning up what is left of an accident where we're told one car hits a semi, struck another car, and it claimed the life of 3 people. The owner says by the time Stevens got his food out of the drive-through window and made it back out onto Buffalo Road, Pennsylvania State Police had already begun the pursuit. Hey, Sean, that's right. Good evening. I brought my dog Stella to work with me today, and she absolutely loves going everywhere with me. Now, just to tell everyone, my car is on and the air condition is rolling, just like animal shelters recommend you do if you do bring your dog with you. Now, however, if you do leave your dog in a car on a hot day, you can face legal charges. And some travelers feel the new speed limit encourages drivers to drive above the posted speed limit.
Jaclyn Seymour's been following the story tonight. She joins us with the latest. Jaclyn.
Yeah, good evening, Sean and Joe. Within hours of each other, the 2 men who were identified by surveillance video turned themselves into police. Meanwhile, a man who knew both families say the violence needs to stop.
J&L handmade do-rags, bringing thousands to sell here at We're on the Shore. Last year, selling more than 500.
Search and rescue crews were able to find the man in under 2 hours. His identity has not been released by state police yet. As you can see behind me, all that's left of that warehouse is the burnt metal, the burnt steel, and of course those burnt mattresses. Fire officials telling me that the crews had to completely tear down the building in order to completely extinguish the fire. Good evening, Jill. Erie has seen 3 homicides in just less than 2 months into 2017. All of 2016, the entire county saw a total of 13. Tonight, the family of Marcel Flemings reflects on his life, but has a message for the violent year Erie's facing. Grocery shopping recently has become much easier. It now can all be done with just the push of a button. It's revving, it's rocking, and it is certainly roaring down here in the official hub of We're on the Shore, Perry Square. Now, behind me is Ray Boom Boom Mancini. He is signing autographs, taking pictures with fans. Actually, we'll go to him live. How are you liking Erie?
I'm loving it in Erie. I heard my name. I said, oh, what they call me? I'm loving it in Erie. People are wonderful. They treat me great. And like I said, it's very similar to Youngstown. Great people, the best people I know, salt-of-the-earth people. And it's like an event. You got beautiful bikes. And the people here today it's been spectacular. And the weather, you can't beat it.
Absolutely, and you've had a lineup of fans all night here tonight.
No, well, like I said, they treat me good, and as long as they're here, I'm here. So it's been good. It's been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
He will be down here until 7 o'clock tonight signing autographs. Also happening today was the Mayor's Ride, led by our Mayor, Joe Sinnott. The Wave Cafe at the Erie Art Museum was last year's winner, and they're back again to defend their title. Like the team does different obstacles, like flipping tires, each one difficult in its own way.
Jaclyn Seymour spoke with the owner. She joins us now with the latest on this part of the story. Jaclyn.
Sean, Jill, employees here at the McDonald's on Buffalo Road in Harbor Creek Township are being called heroes tonight, not only by the public, but also by the owner of this location, after the employee in the first drive-through window recognizes Steve Stevens as he came through. What began as a normal start to the lunchtime rush after 11 Tuesday morning at this McDonald's on Buffalo Road in Harbor Creek quickly changed.
My back drive-through girl called me back and wanted me to verify if she thought that she recognized this person like she did.
Steve Stevens coming through the drive-through. The owner, Tom Ducharme, saying he was able to identify the white Ford Fusion with Ohio plates. The window employee immediately calling state police, while Stevens went from the first drive-through window to the second.
I pulled my front drive-through girl out of the window, and my supervisor actually is the one that interacted with him.
The crew trying to slow Stevens down.
We told him it was going to be a minute for his fries. Really wasn't. We were just trying to give the cops a little bit more time, just for that reason alone. He said he didn't want to wait, give him his nuggets, and he had to go. Ducharme
says they gave him the nuggets and he left in a hurry. The owner says by the time Stevens got his food out of the drive-through window and made it back out onto Buffalo Road, Pennsylvania State Police had already begun the pursuit.
By the time he got past over here, there was already a state trooper behind him with the lights going. So it was the minute he left the parking lot, they were on him.
The team being called heroes. Ducharme saying he's proud of his employees.
I couldn't be prouder of how they handled the situation. I'm very thankful that I was actually here working with them today.
The owner also saying that Stevens was easily recognizable. He said when he came up to the window, the only thing that differed from the pictures online was that he no longer had that full beard, that he had trimmed that up. But he said his eyes and his demeanor, he had no doubt that it was Stevens. Again, he applauding his employees and happy that they were able to help Pennsylvania State Police catch Stevens. Reporting live in Harbor Greene Township, I'm Jaclyn Seymour. Back to you.
Yes.
Jaclyn Seymour joins us now from the control room. Boy, I can't even believe I'm saying this, Jaclyn, with a look at a cricket eating contest. Jaclyn.
Dave, you're right. It's a very unique take on local food, one that involves maybe just a little bit more protein. But don't worry, for every cricket eaten today at Celebrate Erie, $1 is donated to Second Harvest Food Bank.
The Taste of Erie and different food vendors in Perry Square at Celebrate Erie have thousands of people stopping by for a bite to eat. But one vendor has a unique delicacy for people to try.
I just ate a dead worm, barbecue worm. I was disgusted at first.
The Pestaurant by Ehrlich's Pest Control has never been done before at Celebrate Erie, but the idea is also to help educate and inform.
A lot of people come over to the tent just for general information. They want to know about, oh, I got spiders, I got mice, so we give them an opportunity and we explain what happens.
With all the hornets coming in and out of here, just so people can see what the inside of the nest looks like.
Aside from just stopping by, a salt and vinegar cricket eating competition is held to see who can down the most crickets in 30 seconds. And I was brave enough to try.
And go!
The winner of this contest could eat 35 crickets. I could only stomach 18.
But for the winner cricket dinner, it was easy.
Yeah, just grab them and eat them. Then you just wash them down so they're really salty.
But the contest is not just to put bugs down the hatch. For every bug eaten during Celebrate Erie, $1 is donated to the Second Harvest Food Bank.
Just to see, you know, everybody contribute and you walk away with a little education and the look on people's faces when they know that they contributed to something and they did something good, because it's that leap of faith. I'll try one, but oh yeah, I'm donating, so yeah, I'm going to do it. So that it's just worth seeing the faces.
Now, Ehrlich says they had a great turnout for the first year at Celebrate Erie, possibly raising more than $1,000 for the Second Harvest Food Bank. And Dave, it was quite the unique experience.
I can only imagine at the Pestaurant. Okay, I know. I'm wondering, everybody's wondering, if you're eating a cricket, what does it taste like?
Well, these crickets, they were salt and vinegar, so they actually tasted very similar to like sunflower seeds. I could not try the worm. I could not get myself to do it, but the girl in the story, she said that they tasted similar to popcorn.
I'll be darned. But the crickets were okay.
They were all right, not as bad as I thought they were going to be.
Good. If you find yourself chirping later, you'll know why. Thanks.
Sean, DeAndre Carter is the only murder investigation that's still open for this year. However, police say it is moving forward. But the family just wants justice for their loved one.
I was proud of him. He was doing real good. He had a bright future, and somebody here in Erie took that future from him.
The father of DeAndre Carter. Carter is Erie's most recent murder victim. He died from a gunshot wound to the chest.
It's just so tragic that this has happened to an innocent person who just loved life and loved his family.
The shooting happening near West 4th and Plum Streets last month after police say a fight broke out near Ultra View Lounge Bar. A neighbor says Carter came to his home for help after being shot.
So I was like, well, all right, we'll just stay calm. And I called the ambulance. And then the girl I live with, she started talking to him and keeping him awoke. And after 20, 30 minutes, he started saying he didn't feel well. And he started like shaking and sweating.
Carter died at a Pittsburgh hospital a few days after the shooting.
Carter's death marks Erie's fourth homicide of the year, and Police Chief Don Dacus says detectives are working round the clock to close the case.
They were in over the weekend, still working it. And when you start dealing with the forensics aspect of a homicide, that's never a fast process. You know, there's a lot of evidence to be sent and tested and analyzed.
Knowing that this person is still out here and knowing that they're still breathing, they're still living their lives, knowing that they had did this to an innocent person is just not right.
I am hoping that somebody that knows anything, call the detective. Let them know what you know. find my son's killer.
Dacus says they cannot release exact specifics of the investigation because it's still open. But again, he says that case is moving forward. But anyone with information is still asked to call police because there was a bar full of people with key information. Sean Merle Page Jr. turned himself into police after surveillance video helped to identify him as a potential shooter in the incident that killed Marcel Flemings. Today, the judge bound over all charges to trial.
Hey, bro, it's you.
Emotions running high for both families leaving the courtroom Monday morning. The judge sending 26-year-old Merle Page Jr. to trial to face all charges against him in the shooting death of 26-year-old Marcel Flemings.
The judge decided we had presented the evidence we needed for all charges. We agree with that decision, and now we start getting ready for trial.
The shooting happening outside this Shell gas station on East 6th and Parade Streets January 15th. In Page's preliminary hearing, an Erie Police Department detective took the stand, and the prosecution also presented surveillance video from the gas station the night of the shooting.
The surveillance video played in the hearing shows what appears to be Merle Page Jr. shoot Marcel Flemings in between the two rows of gas pumps.
Well, we're fortunate to have video evidence in this case. Obviously, that makes any case stronger. In this case, very strong, and that adds to our confidence that we have going forward and being confident in the outcome of trial.
However, the defense says an evaluation was done on Page prior to the hearing and found he is incompetent to stand trial. However, attorney Stephen Sebald says that was not discussed in Monday's hearing because it's not appropriate.
We anticipate filing pretrial motions and seeking an independent psychiatric opinion, probably a different psychiatrist, as part of this case.
Dave, Justin Hoffman Robinson served in the United States Army National Guard for 2 tours in Iraq, but when he returned home, the battle didn't stop.
Escorted by the Patriot Guard riders, 31-year-old Justin Hoffman Robinson was laid to rest Saturday at the Erie Cemetery by his military brothers. Robinson passed away from an accidental overdose on heroin. Robinson joined the U.S. Army National Guard after graduating high school. He volunteered to serve 2 tours in Iraq and almost a third after 9/11.
He always had the values set first: honor, loyalty, both to his country, his community, and his friends and family.
But when he returned home, the battle wasn't over. Robinson suffered severe PTSD and an addiction to heroin, but his mother says he recently completed a PTSD program and made great progress.
He loved his family, he loved his country, he loved football. Anything he did, he had to do it the best.
Robinson's goal was to become a counselor to help those battling PTSD and addiction.
His news was going to be, just don't start. It's just not worth it.
Now his family wants to help spread his message.
There are many people struggling, and it's a vicious cycle, and they need help. They all need help, and I would advise families to not give up on them because no one hates themselves more than the addict does.
But the family says Justin's memory will live on as a person he was known to his family, friends, and fellow servicemen and women.
He could light up a room anytime he walked in, just smile, always a smile, always a joke. I mean, he's always making people laugh, making everybody feel comfortable. So he's just really one of a kind, and he's going to be missed a lot.
Justin's family and friends says they hope to spread the message to rid drug addiction of the negative stigma because they say it's an illness and people need to not be embarrassed to get help.
Nearly 2 years after 2 16-year-old boys were killed at a party and 4 other people were injured, one of the convicted murderers now knows his fate. Jaclyn Seymour was in the courtroom. She joins us now with a look at the sentencing. Jaclyn.
Sean, Darian Eady will spend at least the next 23 years behind bars. However, he still says he's not a murderer and will continue to keep fighting to prove his innocence. The judge sentenced 22-year-old Darian Eady to 23 years and 10 months to 47 years and 8 months in prison. Judge William Cunningham calling Eady, quote, a clear and present danger to the community. Eady was convicted in February of the murder in the third-degree killing 16-year-old Eliza Jackson at a party in 2015. But the fight isn't over, according to Erie's attorney Bruce Sandmeyer. He says Eady plans to appeal the conviction and sentencing because Eady says he's innocent. An emotional sentence hearing in the court
courtroom this afternoon. The mother of Edie speaking out, as well as Jackson's mother, Vanessa Boleyn.
I don't hate him. I've tried it. And I don't have that to do. You know, I can't carry that with me. I hate what he did, and I hate that he took my son's life. But I don't hate him. So because of that, I know maybe one day, just not today, he'll get forgiveness from me.
4 other men are being charged in the other murder that happened that night, the 16-year-old Shakur Franklin. Now, coming up tonight at 5:30, we're going to hear from the attorneys on today's case about today's sentencing. Sean.
Jaclyn Seymour was on the scene of that shooting tonight. She joins us now in the control room with the latest on this. Jaclyn?
Good evening, Sean. A 28-year-old man was shot in the back parking lot of several businesses at the corner of East 17th and State Street. Tonight, the police are looking for one suspect at this time.
Erie police are searching for a suspect in the shooting of a 28-year-old man who was hit in the abdomen. This happening in a back parking lot of several businesses on the corner of East 17th and State Streets around 5 o'clock. This is surveillance video provided by the father of the building's owner, taken from that back parking lot about 4 minutes before police arrive on scene. We don't see the shooting, but it shows one person run into the back entrance of one of the businesses and another person run behind a dumpster, later entering the same business. Heads of State Barbershop says the victim came in and asked to use their phone after he was shot. He was taken to UPMC Hammett, where police say he needed surgery, but does not have life-threatening injuries at this time. The father of the building's owners says he's not afraid to have his daughters or himself work in the area.
So this is a small town. I'm not afraid to work in here or anywhere else. So it's just another day.
An Erie resident reacting to the shooting in broad daylight, saying it's not how it used to be when he was growing up.
You got into a fist fight, shook hands, got up, your parents made you, shake hands with each other, and you went on about your business. Next day you seen each other, it was what it was. Nowadays, people letting their pride get in the way. People don't know how to throw their hands no more, they don't know how to fist fight, and they just want to turn the guns. It's sad to say, but, it's becoming a way of life. Just stop the violence. Like, y'all know who y'all are. Stop the violence.
Jaclyn Seymour was on scene all evening. She joins us now live in the control room with the latest. Jaclyn.
Good evening, Sean. Several relief organizations and volunteers are stepping up to help the residents of the Barnett apartment building in Albion after a fire breaks out on the 3rd floor.
Crews are called to the Barnett apartment building in Albion for a fire that rips through the 3rd floor. It's believed to have started in a storage room around 3:30 Thursday afternoon.
The way this building is built and where the fire was, it took about 20 minutes to find it, and then another 20 or so to put it out and gain control of that.
60 to 70 people now without a place to live. Residents say they didn't think much about it when the alarms went off.
Got my boots and my jacket and came downstairs. Thought it was just somebody burning toast or something.
But came outside to find it wasn't a drill.
Everything was okay, and then in a short period of time there was smoke coming out of the roof vents, and it just started going really quick and really bad.
The Albion Fire Department opening its doors for residents, the American Red Cross, Salvation Army, Erie County Emergency Management, and volunteers donating food, water, and places to stay.
Making sure we have medications for the elderly that are in this building, making sure that we've got food getting arranged to set them up with that, and also sheltering so that until we get a better feel on how long they're going to be out of this.
Chief Jesse Cleaver says more than a dozen fire departments from 2 states helping knock down the fire.
This has always been a threat in Albion with the amount of people that are here, the amount of people that need to be evacuated, and you just need as many people as you can to help get that done.
The Housing Authority and those relief organizations are still working on placing the people. It's still unknown how long they will be displaced from their houses. And of course, the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Sean?
Jaclyn Seymour was on scene. She joins us now live in the control room with more on the story. Jaclyn?
Sean, Stancliffe Host Company says 2 boys were on a dirt bike when they collided with a pickup truck. One boy, who was 15 years old, was declared dead on scene. The other was taken to UPMC Hammett by helicopter.
This red pickup truck and the dirt bike collided in the 100 block of West 3rd Street in Waterford around 6:15 Thursday night. Stancliffe Hose Company officials say 2 teenage boys were on the dirt bike. Erie County Coroner Lyle Cook says 15-year-old Aaron Moore was declared dead on scene. The other taken by helicopter to UPMC Hammett with serious injuries.
2 juvenile males riding on a small dirt bike and went through an intersection, were struck by a vehicle. We had 1 fatality and 1 was flown to Hammett by stat medevac.
Pennsylvania State Police say the dirt bike was traveling on Chestnut Street and failed to stop at a stop sign. The F-250 truck was on East 3rd Street and was unable to stop before colliding with the bike. One neighbor says she heard the crash.
I just heard this bang, this crash. It was so loud it got my attention.
She says she came running outside to see one of the boys pinned underneath the truck.
So I heard him crying underneath the truck. He was like whimpering, like really bad. Like he was really in pain.
Stancliffe Hose Company's Assistant Chief Ryan Witkowski says the driver of the truck was uninjured.
Driver of the truck is okay, a little shaken up obviously. He was evaluated and released to himself.
Union City Fire Department assisted Stancliffe Hose Company on scene. Pennsylvania State Police are investigating the accident.
Pennsylvania State Police say Moore was the operator of the dirt bike, and again, they will continue to investigate this accident. Sean?
Erie Police Department continued to process evidence Saturday on the scene of a fatal shooting that took the life of a young man. Police say the shooting happened in the 1100 block of West 26th Street around 3 a.m.
3:08 actually, when I heard the first gunshots, woke me up. And then after that, there were 2 rounds of them going off, and then that was it. I didn't hear anything else.
Police say the victim's body was found outside the area of where a party took place, but neighbors say the community was quiet until the shots broke out.
It was boom, 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 so it was like 5, and then that repeated almost immediately.
One neighbor says when he heard the gunshots, he came out on his front porch, but the gunshots kept going.
There was somebody on one side of the street shooting, somebody on the other side of the street shooting. The first 9 shots started, then they stopped. The next thing you know, they ran. I stopped counting after 30.
Police say gunshots also struck several homes and cars in the area. A suspicious car was also found shortly after the shooting in the Tops parking lot on 26th Street and was impounded and searched for evidence.
Protests are happening all across the country, as we just saw, including right here in Erie. And the people that we spoke with say the borders to the United States need to be opened.
They are my people and they are your people.
Hundreds of people packed the end of Dobbins Landing.
This is what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
Standing in solidarity for refugees and immigrants, some sharing their stories of coming to America. Among those, Dam Acharya, who was born in Bhutan and came to the United States in 2008. And he's on the verge of completing his physician's assistant degree from Mercyhurst University.
Being free, being able to have citizenship, being able to be proud of your country. That's what American dream is to me, and that has almost been fulfilled.
People from all over the region coming to the protest.
No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here.
Showing their support for the large refugee population this area houses, but also for refugees everywhere.
I really feel strongly that what's happening in this country is a disservice to all Americans, not just the refugees, but all of us. And if we don't support each other, I just see further downfall.
Organizers saying Erie joins the movement that's happening across the country.
We aren't in isolation, and I think that one thing that's happening in this town is people are starting to see we're part of a country and a world that wants to include Erie.
To see so many people here showing solidarity and showing love in this frigid cold air is really humbling.